and then you do. You show up late, it's already loud, dark.
All right, here we go, party people. It is Tuesday, June 21st. Hopefully everybody enjoyed a phenomenal 3-day weekend. You know, I almost punted on team meeting this morning because I always know whenever there's a 3-day weekend, it's slow building inertia back into the office. But here we are, because the world is run by those who show up. So we're going to talk about the world is run by those who show up, and we're going to differentiate between working on your business and working in your business today. And we're going to talk to Newbie, we're going to talk to Janine, and we're going to talk to Maureen about a few things to start it off. However, one of the things that we also like to do is to support, you know, our squad, our community. And so I'm going to kick it over to John Lorenz, who is excited to share with you quick details as it relates to his Protect the Package golf outing that he has run. It's the 14th annual out at Ironwood here in July. Lorenz, what do these guys need to know around what it is that you guys do and why you've set up Protect the Package?
All right. Thanks so much, Charlie. I appreciate the couple minutes here. I just wanted to come to the KW crew one more time to talk about Protect the Package real quick. As you can kind of pick up, if you haven't heard of this already, Protect the Package is an event, a golf outing where we raise money for man cancer research and those fighting cancer, hence Protect the Package. We use a little bit of humor to help with the healing process, and we hope to then pair up with This Time Tomorrow Foundation and hand out what they call random acts of kindness to those that are battling cancer and have some kind of financial need. So what I'm asking everybody here, there's 600 plus agents in the Keller family here in Milwaukee now. We've got a couple teams signed up from Keller. We need to get a lot more. This is open to the public. We have room for about 20 more foursomes. We're at about 34 right now. And we want to sell that course out. Ironwood does an incredible job. We have so much from lunch, massage therapy, beer sampling, dinner, live music, lots of different games of play, lots of raffles. And so July 16th at Ironwood, Charlie's scrolling through the link here. I'll put it up in all of our Keller Facebook pages, but please ask your friends, family, whoever. This is an open to the public event, so please try your best to come on out and play golf, whether you're super competitive or you barely know how to golf and just like to drive around in the cart. You're all welcome. We have 3 different levels of competition.
Lorenz, there you go. Protect the Package. Guys,
so
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw this out. I will personally pay for 2 foursomes. I've played in the event in the past. I'm unable to make it this year due to a conflict. It's a ton of fun. Bloody Mary bars, live music. I mean, it's the most probably rowdy golf outing I've ever played in a good way, to try and raise money for cancer research and different things that John and This Time Tomorrow our foundation are doing. So if you want to play, I'll personally commit to 2 foursomes to support the group, and I'll fill it out with anybody who wants to play. Shoot me a text, shoot me an email, shoot me a note, or just drop it in the chat section in the Zoom right now. And I will follow up with you as it relates to details and get you registered for the Protect the Package golf outing on July 16th. At Ironwood Golf Course out in Sussex. So if you want to play, hit me up. I'm buying 2 golf. I'll buy 2 foursomes and I'll fill it with you for free. The only thing I'd ask of you, if you go and play, make a monetary donation on behalf of me buying the foursome. Sound good? Fair? There you go. Lorenz, I hope to double the money for you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, brother. Have a great day. Thanks for sharing it. And thank you for 14 strong years of the Protect the Package golf outing.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, sweet. So with that, I know it's a lighter crew today on team meeting, always a 3-day weekend. We know that. So I'm going to move through a very abbreviated team meeting, make this quick to the point, and we'll rock and roll into next week. Sound good? All right, here you go. June 21st. Today is June 21st. We talk about our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. Who can tell me what the 21st of the day brings? Profit share, baby. So if you're like me, it is also the summer solstice.
Yes, sir.
The first day of summer. Good call, Brad Yates. So if you're like me and you wake up in the morning and you check your Wells Fargo app or any of the banking institutions and you realize, holy shit, today's profit share today. Those of you who are receiving profit share, for May, we're paying out $85,728 back to associates in the form of profit share that goes into bank accounts today, bringing our year-to-date total to $265,577. It's going to somebody, guys, whether you take advantage of it or not. The world is run by those who show up. So June 21st, profit share day, just putting it on your radar, planting the seed. There we go. Next up, last week, we had a new home warranty provider come in to talk about a little bit of a change in coverage. As a reminder, we have America's Preferred Home Warranty now as a partnership with us. They're also a platinum sponsor with Keller Williams International. Again, we made the change purely 100% because of the service that we expect out of our warranty providers. And just as a few quick reminders for you guys as it relates to why we made the change. One, your clients have the opportunity to choose their own licensed contractor. We know that when clients have the opportunity to choose their own contractor, their level of satisfaction with the service they receive from the warranty company goes up incrementally because of that they have the ability to control who their service provider is. Two, also has reduced risk mitigation as it relates to your E&O deductibles. So as an associate, they provide a deductible maximum of $3,750 that will get paid to you directly in the event that your client takes out a home warranty, and or if your seller gets into a legal dispute or legal situation, they will provide $1,000 as well to what they call their list secure program for sellers that have the America's Preferred Home Warranty. Also important to note, the waiver as it relates to our E&O, remember, you either have to have a home warranty or your clients have to sign the waiver, is also right on their order form. So makes it very, very simple that you have the opportunity to present both options, whether they want to take the home warranty or they want to waive it in order to reduce your deductible on your E&O. The waiver is provided for you right there within their ordering information. Then as it relates to pricing, you can see here from a pricing standpoint, very straightforward pricing, pretty straight to the point. Yes, Brad Yates, question. Perfect. And 5 easy ways to order your home warranty. Remember, download the Real Pro app. You can order online, you can email it, you can call it in by phone, or if you prefer the old-fashioned way, you can deal it directly through a fax. So the best part about it is it's 24/7, 365. All calls are handled person to person with an in-person phone center here based in the United States. It's based over in Michigan, which is a huge plus. You're not getting shipped overseas from a phone standpoint. Service is very much been expedited. And as I stated last week, Kimmy and I worked really, really hard for the last 3 or 4 months to vet to make sure that we have the right company in partnership with you guys over time. So any questions as it relates to America's Preferred Home Warranty, don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Kimmy, Erica, our rep will be on site visiting offices on a regular basis, and we'll be getting to get to know you guys to ensure that we're providing the level of services that you guys expect out of your home warranty partnership. Sound good? All right, sweet. Now, I want to go into a quick dialogue here, and I want to challenge the group. As many people have been running on a treadmill the last 2, 3, 4 years, and you feel as if the treadmill hasn't been able to slow down. The problem in slowing down is this. You've been so focused on working in your business in a deal after deal after deal after deal after deal. The hard part is there's a whole segment of our population that has never worked on their business. Okay? They've worked in their business, but they've never worked on their business. I'll challenge you to think about it differently, and I'll show you some market stats here coming up. Many folks have been very good lead receivers. Not many folks have understood what it means to be lead gatherers or lead hunters, right? Hunters versus gatherers. And we have to understand when you work on your business in order to prep for what's coming. And there's some very interesting statistics. I know many people have been feeling it, but have you been understanding the micro impacts of what's going on in our industry? We have a real opportunity coming up in August down in Austin, Texas. It's essentially a day and a half down in Austin, Texas for Mega Aging Camp. It's not average camp, it's mega camp. So Maureen, I'm going to kick it over to you to talk a little bit about your experiences through Mega Camp and having a conversation with Janine and Newbie.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right. Good morning. It's kind of funky because you don't get to see yourself on the screen, so you never know. All right. Hey, good morning, guys. I'm going to have a little conversation with Janine and with Jonathan Newby about Mega Camp. The kicker for this conversation is that, Janine, how many times have you been to Mega Camp?
I have no idea. 5? No, 6. I don't know.
6, 7,
Yeah,
maybe 8, a lot.
yeah.
Every opportunity, right? And
Yep.
Jonathan, how many times have you been to Mega Camp?
Ooh, Jonathan, 0 times.
0, right? Jonathan, how many times
Can you
have I
hear me?
asked you? How many? Yeah.
Yeah, can you
How
hear
many
me?
times have I? Yeah, I can hear you.
Jonathan, does it sound like your mother is talking to you?
I mean, who the hell is Jonathan?
Okay, wait, newbie. How many times have I asked you to go to Mega Camp?
Every year.
Every single year. And so what's the motivation this year? He sent me a message over the weekend. Are we all going to Mega Camp? And so I asked you this morning, what's your motivation and why are you pumped up to go to Mega Camp?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. I could say that fear is a motivator, but obviously it doesn't make sense to be fearful. But I think what it is that Mega Camp puts me in a position to hear from industry leaders about the shift. And I know there's been like the talk of a shift for years. But now that we're actually in it, I kind of want to know what I should be doing. Does my business operate the same way? Are there things I don't know of that I should be doing that I'm not doing? And I think that Mega Camp puts you in that sort of like, I guess, incubator for understanding what's next and how to prepare yourself and to be excited about it, to be honest.
Okay, that's actually an awesome answer. Thank you. We never even talked about this prior too. So I love your off the cuff. That's perfect. Janine, tell me, why are you going for the 6th, 7th, or 8th time?
Yeah, especially this year. I think number one, consumer behavior changes whether we like it or not. So for me, what are we going to do to change with it? And our business just doesn't stop when things are changing around us. So we must adapt at a really high level through education, problem solving, learning from others. And that's what Mega Camp is really all about, is learning from other mega agents. And they share with everyone on different subjects what they do at a very high level. So as our consumer behavior is changing, we have to adapt to it. And I think this is going to be probably one of the best mega camps in a long time. So that's one of the reasons I'm going.
Okay. I would say that this company, that since we've been, Janine and I have been with the organization from the very beginning of Milwaukee's KW, I would say that the stronghold of teaching us how to shift and pivot is unique to this company, right? When COVID happened, this company was all over teaching us and coaching us how to survive through COVID. And we didn't just survive, we actually soared and excelled through COVID, right? So we look at an opportunity to go to Mega Camp to surround ourselves, right? They say your value is based on the people you surround yourself with, specifically the top 5. So I say you've got 1, 2, and 3 people planning to go to Mega Camp. Who in this, on this screen, who in this room wants to be a part of Mega Camp with us, right? Janine and I are seasoned Mega Camp goers, so we can tell you exactly how it works. And Newbie will be just some good laughs, and we're all going to go and have a great time and learn a lot and spend some time in Austin, Texas, which is one of our favorite towns. And Newbie will show us a good time, right, Newbie?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. He's already bought the hotel. He's like, Maureen, are we the Kimpton? Are we the JW? What are we doing? I mean, I love this. So get on board with us. It's an amazing opportunity to learn how we're going to survive through this shift, because it is happening. It is happening all over the country, and we are starting to feel it in Milwaukee for sure. Lake Country is just beginning to start to feel it. So it's kind of interesting to see this tide rolling through, and we need to surround ourselves with people who are actually ahead of us in the shift, who can tell us what's coming and tell us how they're preparing for it and how they're succeeding through it. Okay, so whoever's on board, August 23rd, 24th, Tickets are on sale now. Join up. We'll probably get a block of rooms based on response. So we'll send an email out probably today on who's interested in going, and we'll book a block of rooms. Hey, thanks you guys for jumping on. I appreciate your time and your willingness. Have a great day.
Awesome. Guys, you either work in your business or you work on your business. And based on what's coming down the pike, you got to be focused on what you're doing to work on your business to prepare it and for the future. Mega Camp is a great place to do that. Mastermind with those, again, mastermind with those that are doing it at a high level. But here's the other thing that we also know. Everything happens on the coast and it moves its way to the Midwest. So what you're not feeling yet, our peers across the country who you have the opportunity to sharpen your sword with will be able to share with you what they feel, see, and are doing on the coast to help you focus on what we do here in the Midwest. Now, having said that, I'm actually going to jump ahead in the presentation. Okay, I normally give my market stats and updates at the very end, right, to keep you guys engaged. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump to the very end right now. Okay. And here's why you need to do that and pay attention, because this is going to go along with the Mega Camp pitch. Okay. When I talk about the Mega Camp pitch, here's what you need to pay attention. I pulled this 24 weeks on a weekly basis. Last time I shared this with you, I looked at it, was May 24th. Okay. So we're about a month later since the last time I showed this to you. Okay. Here's the first thing you need to know is, first of all, in the state of Wisconsin, you're starting to see the impact on inflation rates and rising appreciation is having on buyer demand within the marketplace. Last time I showed this to you, we were right here. Okay, May 24th is when I showed this to you last. Now you're starting to see the dip in demand or the dip in showing activity as it relates to the inflationary and rate pressures that we're seeing within our industry. Now, last time I showed this to you, I also showed you Illinois. Illinois was a little bit further ahead than we were. So we had already started to see some of that decline in buyer activity in Illinois that we had not yet seen in the state of Wisconsin. So I share that with you now, sitting here on June 21st, to say we're now a month later and we're starting to feel the impacts within the marketplace. As a listing agent, I can tell you the listing agents have been constantly talking about it. So if you aren't a listing agent, go talk to a listing agent to feel what they're feeling within the marketplace. They're not seeing 100,000 over asking. They're not seeing 50 offers. They're not seeing, this, that, and the other, right? It's starting to show up within the business. Now, sales absorption rates have actually still remained relatively pretty steady. Latest 14 weeks, 13.8% on a given week of the total inventory has gone under contract. The reason why this is important is the baseline number here that you're going to see across all these statistics. The baseline red line is the latest 24-week rolling average. So when you see we've been rolling above the average for the last 24 weeks since March, okay, means we've actually been pretty good. But what I've also noticed since probably second to third week of May is we're starting to trend from that sales absorption rate is starting to lower a tad as it relates to what's going on within the marketplace. Now let's take a look at units under contract. Latest 24 weeks, 508 units per week have gone under contract. We're still trending above that, but you can see it is starting to soften. Where I say that soften from a standpoint is, I think we reached the apex of the marketplace activity at the end of May. Okay, so now we're starting to see some of the summer selling season set in. Okay, here's the important thing to know. Latest 4 weeks, we've averaged 573 units have gone under contract on a given week. We may have hit the apex, so be prepared. The reason why is it's kind of a good news, bad news scenario. The bad news is we're starting to see some of that softening from a demand standpoint. The good news is new inventory units still remain really, really strong. Okay, so what we need to understand and be prepared for is the days of having 1.2 months, 1.4 months of supply worth of inventory is now starting to alleviate, which I think is actually very healthy, is very, very healthy. So the latest 4 weeks, we've had 705 new units come on an average over the last 4 weeks, right? Latest 24 weeks rolling average is 602 units. Now, on average, we're growing plus 132 on the net new inventory, 132 more units going onto the market than are coming off the market from a pending status. So where that shows up is right here. The new inventory line is the red graphs and red line. The units that are going into pending status within the MLS is the blue line. When you have a gap between the red line and the blue line is where you start to see total inventory beginning to rise. Okay, again, I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this is a healthy thing for our industry. The problem is we have a lot of recency bias within our brains, within our perspective, within the way in which we operate. And so here's my prediction. This year may not be as good as last year in terms of total units, but I'm willing to venture and bet it's still going to be one of the top 5 to 6 years across the last 30 years of total history. So we got to throw our perception or perspective into place so that our perception is in line with reality, that it's still a very, very healthy market. The inflationary pressures that we're seeing are starting to show up. Inflationary and rate pressures are starting to show up as it relates to buyer activity, right? And so what this means then is you have total inventory that's rising at around roughly 10% rate higher than the latest 24-week average. That's positive. Rising tides lifts all ships. If we can get some of the inventory back, and we know over time that the Fed will pull the rates back down at some point, right? Once they get inflation under control, we'll be in a really good shape. Now, here's my one little nugget for you, okay? Expireds and withdrawals have skyrocketed, okay? Here's my point. There is an incredible opportunity to be second place in the market. Here's why. You have a lot of agents that are willing to not face the facts or not face perception or not face the reality. So what they're doing is they're going out and agreeing with their clients that their home should be worth $750,000 when the comps in the marketplace is telling us it should be listed at $600,000. So you have agents who are buying their listings, and then what happens is through the first weekend when they don't get any offers and they don't have any showings, the client gets upset. They believe they have the wrong agent with the wrong strategy, and they pull the ripcord. You're seeing that. The data is telling us that. So it's not something like I have this hypothesis or theory. Clients are telling us based on the number of withdrawals and expireds that you would not normally see at this time of year. To see 128 last week, it's incredibly high. So what my point to you is this: you have a tremendous opportunity to be second place within the market because we're starting to see sellers question their first choice of agent sooner, and there's an opportunity to swoop in and present the proper strategy. Right now, what I am not telling you to do is to go and facilitate listings that have been on the market, because there's ethical, we are bound by ethical and moral standards within our industry. And yet I'm also telling you, I think if you pay attention to your expireds and FSBOs lists that have been popping up that may not have been a part of your strategy in the past, I think there's a real opportunity for people to win listings if they're willing to go work at it and be a hunter and not a gatherer. Make sense? So the reason why I presented all the stats right up front and I kind of flipped ahead is based on the conversation Maureen had with Janine and Newbie as to why they're going to Mega Camp. I'm showing you as to why you should go to Mega Camp as it relates to how you sharpen your sword and why you should be plugged in to work on your business in a time when a lot of people, quite frankly, haven't needed to, because the business has been so robust and the tide has been rising for the last several years. I think there's a real opportunity to reinvent what it is that you do and how you do with a changing marketplace and a changing consumer and a changing dynamic. Make sense? So August 23rd, August 24th, it's not Average Camp, it's Mega Camp. Join Maureen, Janine, Newbie, Mandy, myself, a bunch of other folks down in Austin, Texas. There you go. A little change of pace, a little audible for you. And with that, I'm flipping back to the sheriff. Sheriff Reed, what do these guys need to know about understanding that they are not attorneys? Is it what it is that they do? Sheriff Reed.
Good morning, everybody. With the situation with a lot of the transactions going on today, they're popping up some issues. And what I want to do this morning is just remind you that we are so committed to our clients, our sellers and our buyers, that we want to take care of them. We want to protect them, but we have to find an area where we stop. And that's when it becomes legal advice and not real estate client advice. So I'm just throwing in a few reminders today that we don't cross the line and probably get ourselves and our firm into some litigation along with our clients. So WRA has a great resource for you that you can use, that you can be able to tap into and get some information. But I just want to remind you what the real estate statute says. It says from the Wisconsin Bar Association, a licensee may not provide advice or opinions concerning the legal rights or obligations of parties to a transaction, the legal effect of a specific contract or conveyance, or the state of title to real estate. A licensee may provide general explanation of provisions in a form approved by the board or WRA forms to the parties in transaction at the time of completing the form or when delivering the approved form for the seller's and buyer's acceptance. So they're setting a very narrow restriction for what you can do, but you must do all of your real estate guidance through our forms, through our approved forms, and not go off on your own with your own opinions or your own advice. So that's a statute. That's what we're guided by. The next slide would be, we have, being a member of WRA, some really good resources. A lot of you are aware of the legal hotline. Here's the phone number. They're very responsive. They'll usually leave a message and they'll call you back. And Carol Kriegbaum, Corey Lamont, Tracy Rucka are three of the attorneys on the WRA advisor board, and they will actually talk to you about the situation. They'll give you sort of a broad legal advice on it. They're not going to give legal advice to your client. It is only to your process and what you are allowed to do and not allowed to do. You can also search for a topic in the legal hot tips. Say you're in a situation, and if you go into legal hot tips and search the categories, you might find similar situations that you are involved in, and then find out what the legal hotline lawyers responded to with that. Also, there's a regular publication called Legal Updates, and I, being the geek I am about this, I love these legal updates because they summarize a very important topic in each legal update. So you can find those, again, do category searches in those to find out which publication matches your situation. So this is for members, this is for agents, not for the public. But if your client doesn't know of an attorney, feels they don't have the wherewithal to hire an attorney or pay for an attorney, these are some legal assistance links for your clients. And if you go into that link, they will help your client search for an attorney that matches the situation that client is in. So it's a really nice service. If we recommend attorneys, we should recommend maybe more than one attorney as we do any recommendations. But this is a more broad general search to find an attorney for your client. So Hotline does not help your client, it helps you, but we can help our clients get attorneys. So the next thing, I just pulled up some examples of where we start to cross over the line. And Steph and I get quite a few calls on these questions because of the intensity of some of our meetings. We're getting into these situations, and then Steph and I will get calls on what you need to do for your client. But this is where we say stop and then refer your client to a lawyer. An example is, big one is post-closing disputes. Closing is over, your job is over. It is now between the buyer and the seller and their attorneys if they choose to hire them. We really can't assist in any way. And I know it's hard. We form good relationships with our clients and we still want to keep helping them. But this is where you have to stop and take a step back and refer them to an attorney. Another common one is declaring who gets the earnest money. It's in the contract, but still there are a lot of variables that can happen in a situation that may affect the contract statement. So we can never say, oh, you'll get your earnest money back, or, well, that you can keep the earnest money, you don't have to send it back. Any comments like that is legal advice, and mostly incorrect legal advice. So make sure that you are reading the verbiage in the contract for your client, but the decision or statement of who gets the money is not ours to make. It belongs to the court. Another topic that we seem to talk about, and we were sort of warned that we can't really talk too much about it, and that's rescission rights. It's stated in the condo offer to purchase, the rescission rights for condo docs. It's stated in the real estate condition report that the client has, the buyer has rescission rights. All we can really do is stress that they go over those paragraphs in those forms. We can't interpret or advise or give our opinion on what rescission rights really are. So there's a really kind of a touchy one, kind of a gray area, but as our attorneys have said, talking about rescission rights is providing legal advice, which we can't do. Another one is what happens when your client or the other client, the other side of it, wants to breach or default on the contract. What happens? What can I do? What do I get out of it? How can I be hurt? What are my risks? Those are all legal questions and not really for your answer. In all our contracts, in our offer to purchase and in the condo offer to purchase and all of those, there's a section in there. It says when buyer defaults and a section when seller defaults. All you can do with your client is to go over those lines in the contract, because we're following the advice within the approved forms, but we can't veer off of that and start giving oh, you can get damages and, you can sue them, to here to next week, with all of the things that they're doing to you. You can't get into any of that. Only refer what's in the form and stay back from giving your own advice or your own opinion. And the last slide. Our role as Steph Connard and Kimmy and I as compliance brokers, we're not lawyers either. So we're here to support you. We have a lot of references that we can go to similar situations that you may be in, but we're not giving legal advice either. And I hope I never step over the line. I'm very cautious about that. And I always say, well, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have an opinion, and you're not a lawyer. So you're going to have to direct your client to some kind of legal advice. But what we can do is assist you in the construction of documents, put in the right wording, give you alternative solutions in some kind of a dispute, as long as it's not legal advice. One thing that I want to do a commercial for, Steph and I do contract training every Monday from 12 to 1, and we pick up trending situations in our contracts that would be good to step in and listen, or they're also on YouTube. We can help you review the documents and agreements between the parties. We can search hot tips and legal updates for you, find the similar situations and send them to you to see what other answers have been through the legal hotline. But we are in support of all of our Wisconsin approved forms, real estate transactions, to ensure all of you are writing smart and correct contracts. So there we are for this morning.
And we may not be attorneys, but Kimmy, Joan, and Steph's job is to keep you out of needing an attorney. Just remember that. So Sheriff Reed, appreciate it. Thank you. It's good subtle reminders, because oftentimes, guys, we have to intervene on situations where people are giving legal advice, which what you don't understand is when you give legal advice, you're digging your own grave deeper and deeper and deeper, so that when the E&O, and then when we get into a litigation lawsuit and the attorney, Bill Erkey, great Whitefish Bay resident, one of Andy Stillman's good buddies, calls me and says, Charlie, I didn't know that so-and-so was an attorney. I said, they're not. He goes, yeah, the problem is we're in real trouble because they think they are. And that's what gets us in trouble. So you have to understand when it is and when your time is to step back in the situation and allow the attorneys to step in. Yeah. The number is wrong on the slide. Yes. 608-242-2296. The legal hotline. I'm going to put it in the chat for those who need it.
Super. And if
608.
anybody wants those links for client lawyers, maybe just put that slide in also.
Perfect. Thanks, Schroeder. Awesome. All right, flipping through. Now, here we got going. Upcoming trainings and events. What do we got coming up? This week, offices were closed yesterday in celebration of Juneteenth Day and a federal holiday. So this week, tomorrow morning, on the 22nd at 10 a.m., I'm hosting another round of lead gen for listings. I'm going to be talking to Bridget Ty, how she blew it up right away real fast and what she did to get listings. I'm going to be talking to Robin McCormick out in Lake Country, who absolutely had a killer year, right? And a few other folks for tomorrow morning for lead generate for listings at 10 a.m. One of our most attended panel discussions that we had. I keep it light, I keep it fast, and we try and deliver the meat and potatoes for you. So lead generate listing for listings tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then also on Friday at 10 a.m. is another edition of your admin mastermind this month. So if you're leading a team, or if you have an admin on a team, or you're thinking about hiring your first admin mastermind is this week, Friday. Handful of other topics. I talked about this one for tomorrow at 10 a.m. It is via Zoom, so just be prepared via Zoom tomorrow at 10 a.m. Ignite is starting on July 6th, so we have 15 phenomenal instructors that will be leading the group through Ignite. If you need to know what Ignite is, let me understand this. Have you ever built a house without a foundation? No. If you need to build your foundation in this business, you want to sign up for Ignite. It gives you the tips, tricks, and ways in which you build this business. The other beautiful thing about Ignite is it's taught by 15 diverse people with diverse backgrounds, differing viewpoints, different ways they approach things. And the best part about it is you take bits and pieces of what everybody teaches you to build your foundation to have a successful career. I will also tell you, Ignite is not only for those that are new to the business. Many times we have students of Ignite who've been in this business for a long time, who just want to refine their skills and work on their business instead of working in their business. That's what I know. We went through our weekly marketing insights. Lindsay's going to have a few tips and tricks as it relates to tech and marketing next week. But having been a 3-day weekend for most folks, and a lot of people checked out over the weekend, which I think is actually very healthy and positive, we kept it light and to the point this morning. So guys, Lake Country, I'll let you jump over to the Lake Country Meetup. Innovation crew and North Shore crew, I'll jump over to new listings and coming soons. And guys, have a phenomenal week. Thanks for jumping on.